So much stuff has happened in World of Tanks in the last few days, holiday ops, large boxes, well-deserved rewards, that I have not had time to cover some of the vehicles which are coming into the game in the future, some Supertest tanks which are actually very exciting. For example, the vehicle you are seeing on the background right now spinning around is the first ever Japanese tank destroyer, what so many of you have been waiting to see in the game, a Japanese tank destroyer line, because right now we have the Japanese medium tanks, STB-1 as the tier 10 and Japanese heavy tanks as well, Type 5 at the top over there, but Type 5 Hoto is going to be the first Japanese tank destroyer. Also we have the German siege mode tank destroyer coming into the game with some kinda unique features as well for the siege mode tank, and there is also another Chinese heavy tank coming which is not the jet booster. I don't even know how many Chinese tanks they have released lately and how many Chinese heavy tanks. It is quite crazy, and there are so many still being tested on the Supertest, which have not come out yet. So all of this is going to be covered in today's video. Let's take a little break from the holiday ops, let's take a little break from the loot box tanks, right guys? So the first vehicle I'm going to talk about is this Type 5 Hoto over here. As you can see, feels to be quite a massive tank. Looking at the turret, not the turret, the superstructure where the gun is mounted to, it kind of reminds Jagdtiger superstructure or Ferdinand from some angles as well, but the frontal area is a bit different and seems to be a bit thicker, and this one is a tier 8 premium tank most likely. You know how they usually like to do, they like to introduce tier 8 premium tanks before the full tech tree line hits into the game. This is what they have done so many times before as well. The last example is BZ-176, released from the loot boxes, the first ever jet booster tank comes into the game before the jet booster heavy tank branch in the Chinese tech tree. And usually those tier 8 premium tanks are giving you the smell of what the actual tech tree is going to look like. And the firepower is actually quite interesting because this gets the SU-100Y's premium round treatment over here. Because it has two AP rounds, it has standard AP and it has premium AP, or maybe we should say it has first AP and second AP, because when you press the 2 key in this vehicle it simply doesn't give you more penetration and makes you so much better player, but you actually lose something as well. Pay attention, you know, the standard AP or the first AP round comes with 500 alpha and 265 millimeters of penetration, which for tier 8 is actually very nice penetration, I have to say. This is the standard AP, and the second AP has 570 alpha, so you get extra 70 alpha damage, but you lose 35 millimeters of penetration, down to 230. High explosive 630 and 60 millimeters of penetration. You know, this gap between the second AP versus high explosive is too little to justify using too many high explosive rounds, because with high explosive you always have the risk to not penetrate until, you know, only 100 or 150 damage as well. Like 570 versus 630, do you really want to risk that hitting lightly armored tanks? Of course you can carry some for decapping, maybe for vehicles lightly armored tanks which has 600 hit points, you know, you have more chances to knock them out with a single shot, but I wouldn't carry too many for sure. DPM numbers, so the DPM is a bit different as well. If you use the first AP you have 2400, let's say roughly 2400 DPM, and if you use the second AP with 5.7 alpha you have 2736 DPM. With 12.4 second reload time, aiming time 2.3 seconds, and dispersion at 100 meters is 0.34. So aiming time is actually okay for this type of gun in tier 8, I have to say, and dispersion as well. Well, RNG is going to do the guiding anyway. -7 degrees of gun depression, 15 elevation. -7 is actually a gun depression which is workable, I would say so. I was expecting maybe a bit worse because, I don't know, it looks like a bit worse gun depression, but -7 is okay. It has 24 degrees traverse angle, which means you can move your gun 12 degrees to the left, 12 degrees to the right. This is your gun arc basically while you are standing still, and it can carry 30 shells. So firepower overall I can say is quite interesting actually, right? The mobility not bad, 40 top speed, 18 moving backwards, 700 horsepower engine, giving it 16.7 power to weight ratio, and actually respectable travel hull rotation as well, 38 degrees per second, and 22 degrees per second gun rotation. Survivability. Now this is where it is a bit interesting, because it has 1400 hit points, hooray for that, 200 frontal armor. Where is it? We have to see 3D model for that, but guys, we do not have to see 3D model for the 30 side armor and 30 rear armor as well. It can get penetrated by high explosive in the intuition meta, of course, intuition loader skill meta. It can be overmatched by so many guns as well, so you have to be very careful. It's like, you know, STRVs, it has STRV 103B, let's say. You know, frontally it is very strong, but if it turns slightly, you are easily able to penetrate the side. You're easily able to penetrate, overmatch the side if STRVs turn slightly to the left, to the right, and you can see just the tiniest side angle, and you can do the same over here with this vehicle. So this is definitely a bit awkward playstyle in some positions. 380 meters view range, which allows it to play, I would say, without goated optics if you want to max out the view range. And it comes with 6 crew members: commander, gunner, driver, radio operator, and 2 loaders. So this is Type 5 Hoto, first the Japanese tank destroyer coming into the game sometime. Nobody knows when, maybe next year, well, most likely in 2023 or later, right? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below, please, because we are moving on to the next vehicle, and this is a Tier 9 Kampfpanzer 3 Project 07 HK. This is the name of the vehicle. Yes, I think in the game it is going to be BZ-58-2 or something like that. But this is a Tier 9 German siege mode tank destroyer with 320 alpha. At first I was like, really? 320 alpha, Tier 9 tank destroyer, not even 390? What is so special about this vehicle? And it has, it is a siege mode tank, but it has quite a bit of different things compared to the siege mode tank destroyers what we have, the STRV line, the S line. 320 alpha, 420 with high explosive, that has 120 millimeters of penetration, by the way, so high explosive has very high penetration. 268 with standard APCR and 320 with heat. So it actually has heat. We know that the S-line has a PCR as the second premium round, or as the premium round. Now, the first big difference when we compare this siege mode to the Swedish siege mode tanks is that it has 2 different reload times in the siege mode and in the travel mode. In the travel mode, it has 7-second reload time. In the siege mode, it has 10-second reload time. And the DPM difference is actually quite big. 10-second reload time, stock reload time for a Tier 9 tank destroyer with 320 alpha is not very big indeed. But the 7-second reload time, what you can boost under 6 seconds with the equipment units, of course, with 320 alpha, you know, is not bad, but it is not the highest DPM. And why it has it? It has -3 degrees of gun depression actually, and you can move, you can have some flexibility outside the siege mode as well, moving your gun and aiming with your vehicle basically. What you do not have with STRV 103-0 or STRV 103B. You know, you are very like stiff when you're not in the siege mode, but over here you have some flexibility as well. But what gets boosted a lot in the siege mode is of course your gun handling, aiming time from 2.7 seconds down to 1.5 seconds, and dispersion from 0.36 down to 0.25, which is, you know, super snappy aiming time and quite a laser accuracy. Depends on your RNG, of course. You know, the flexibility, you have some flexibility outside the siege mode, but the aiming time 2.7 seconds, dispersion 0.36, you know, it is not the most accurate over there. And if you are in the siege mode, of course, your gun depression is going to be a bit better as well, because you can pitch your hull 9 degrees forward and 3 degrees backward. So your gun depression definitely is getting boosted a lot. Ammunition capacity 60 shells. So I do not think you have to worry about running out of shells in this vehicle too often. Next up, mobility, and this is where we can see another big difference comparing this siege mode tank to the Swedish siege mode tanks, because 65 drop speed, 18 moving backwards in the travel mode, which is hella fast, I have to say, guys. But in the siege mode, you are not the turtle as you are in the Swedish siege mode tanks. And I guess this is the main reason why the DPM gets hit as well while you are inside the siege mode, because 20 top speed and 18 moving backwards, which is so much more flexible than in the Swedish tanks. So I guess this is the main reason why the DPM gets hit and why this tank got the Kampfpanzer siege mode treatment over here. Because moving 18 kilometers per hour backwards helps you out in so many positions, taking a shot and pulling back fast, or a lot faster than you can do in the Swedish tanks. It has a 900 horsepower engine with 23.4 power to weight ratio, so it is a very nimble tank actually. Epic top speed, fast, you know, good specific power, like overall mobility 10 out of 10 for this tank, definitely. Hull traverse speed 28 degrees per second, turret traverse speed 16 degrees per second. And as I said before, switching to siege mode it takes 3 seconds, switching to travel mode it takes 3 seconds. This is quite a long time. Like, you really have to think twice when you want to switch your modes between the firefight. Like STRV, if it is under fire, it can do it so much faster and start backing away already. But over here, do you really want to stand still for 3 seconds and letting some big guns aim in their shots at you? This is a big question, right, guys? Survivability 1450 hit points, so it actually has only 50 more than the Type 5 Hoto in tier 8, which had 1400, but the playstyle of course is quite a bit different as well. Hull armor 45, 30 and 20. And you already saw how crazy sloped this tank is. It has very slopey armor, so you need quite a big guns to overmatch it, and it is going to be extremely bouncy. The front of the tank side 30, rear 20. Of course, the side gets overmatched. The side gets penetrated easily. Turret armor it shows 10, 10, 10 all around. I guess those are the top of the tank armors over here, but the front is definitely going to bounce a lot. It is just under extreme slope, and you need big calibers to penetrate that. 100, like you have 135 millimeters of effective, so you need 136 millimeter gun caliber to penetrate that. Like IS-7, for example, with its 130 millimeter gun cannot overmatch the front, what it can do on most of the STRVs, you know. View range 350 meters. This is another thing which is quite poor over here. 350 meter view range definitely needs either coated optics and maxed out cruise and ventilation, or Pinos as well. And I guess Pinos is what you have to use over here. It has 3 crew members: commander, driver and radio operator, no loader, so someone is under heavy pressure and someone is doing the shooting, someone is doing the driving and loading at the same time. Whoever it is, we will find out. And this is Kampfpanzer 3 Project 07 HK. What do you think about that, guys? Are you more for this type of siege mode tank? Would you be more for this type of siege mode tank, or are you going to stick to your STRVs? Let me know once again in the comment section down below. Finally, we have, I would say, the least exciting tank, and this is why it is the final one over here today. It is a tier 9 Chinese heavy tank BZ-58-2. And no, it is not a jet booster tank. It is, like, what does it remind you guys? 50 DP, doesn't it? Like the turret is straight out from 50 DP, at least it seems like it. Hard-hitting gun, 520 alpha damage or 660 with high explosive. With AP as a standard round it has 250 pen, with APCR it has 303 and 68 with high explosive. Long reload time, 17.2 seconds stock reload time. Long aiming time, 3 seconds. 0.37 dispersion. Not bad actually. -8 degrees of gun depression, which is good. I would say 20 degrees elevation. Ammunition capacity 30 shells. Firepower, hard-hitting gun. What hard-hitting gun, long reload time? What more do you need? This is a very good trader. For a tier 9 tank, definitely very good trader. You take one shot, you receive one shot, but more often you are going to deal more damage. Mobility, very slow. 30 top speed, 17 moving backwards, 650 horsepower engine, 13 power to weight ratio, 30 traverse speed on the hull and on the turret. Mobility, absolutely sad. Definitely not my type of vehicle. I do not enjoy slow tanks like this, like such a slow tank. Survivability, 2000 hit points. Hull armor is 70, 70 and 50. So it has very weak nominal or the base values on the hull, but you can see that it is quite a bit sloped. Turret 230, 160 and 100. Turret is 230, but it is quite heavily sloped. It has the big gun mantle to protect your turret as well, and it has some actually weak spots as the commander hatch. How big of a weak spots those are? For that, guys, what we need 3D armor model, of course. But the hull is the trickiest place. It has big lower plate, but I would say if it is hull down, it is definitely not penetratable or penetrable. So then you have the turret and the turret weak spots to shoot only. But the lower plate seems to be very big. If it is on the flat ground, seems to be easy penetration, especially when it has 70 armor value. Even if it is under angle like that and 70 armor value in the lower plate, it is not going to be a problem to penetrate. 380 meters view range is nice. It has 4 crew members, commander, driver, gunner and loader. And this is a BZ-58-2. It just wanted to have the same name as the jet booster tanks, as the cool guys, you know, on the street. It just wanted to have the same name, but what is the purpose for this tank? What is the purpose for many other Chinese tanks they're actually thinking about releasing soon? The BZ-1132, there is the like BZ-116 or something like that. There are just so many Chinese tanks coming. I have lost count even, like 10 plus in the last year and coming as well. 10, 15, something like that actually. Someone said me the number. Someone told me the number. But yeah, this one, I would say the least exciting tank in today's video. But it is a tier 9 tank, so maybe a reward tank or maybe a premium tank. It hits 2 birds with 1 stone. 50 DP is very popular tank in the game, and it looks like 50 DP, but it is a Chinese, so if you need a big Chinese premium tank, I guess this is your option. So, ladies and gentlemen, a little break from the holiday ops. Let me know what you think about the upcoming tanks, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up button is for that. If you didn't, thumbs down button is for that. I catch you next time with something else. Stay awesome, stay beautiful, stay sexy, naked, take care and bye.